So the internet was ablaze with this video of Emmanuel Macron, Keir Starmer, and Friedrich Merz acting in a very strange way around one thing that looked like a bag of baby powder or another thing that looked like a little spoon. I share this, and in a train to Kiev, Macron appears to hide a small bag of baby powder, and Merz conceals the fine spoon used for doses. Starmer is nervous. The video is on AFP's YouTube channel. At some point, you know that we are in this era of AI, and you don't know, sometimes you don't know what is real and what's not in everything, but that happens, especially when you're seeing people speak. But in these movements and the way that we see this video unfolding, I'm going to play it right away. The way that you see the video unfolding, we have not reached, in terms of AI, the sophistication to generate a video like this. I'm full into, AI in every single way. And in terms of video generation, no, we don't have the technology for this yet. We haven't reached this level of being natural. And at the same time, I've always asked you and told you to look for the source. So it was on AFP's actual YouTube channel. So I was not only analyzing this with my own eyes and expertise. Okay, the video is legit. Okay, the video is legit. So what was going on with the things that were on the table? First, they were arriving, and the press was there. You see that there was, it was like they were inside a train. It was a very small, like, meeting room, which you had. I guess that this was like 6 chairs in total. You have a table, and you had some folders, 2 glasses of water, and the 2 things that, yes, we're gonna be able to clear the the image in a minute. But I want to take a look at their body language, which is what brings us here today. And their body language, okay, they were all nice to each other. You know, how is Macron? I'm going to say something that right now, as they are arriving at the scene, at that moment, they don't seem bothered at all to what was on the table. They were not paying attention to that, to the folders, to the glasses of water, or whatever else was there. All right. So it's okay. Then you see that they keep speaking. They sit down, and in the order. The space is very small, so Keir Starmer was the one that you see that there's a very tight space between the table, the meeting table, and a small desk which is in the back, so one person can barely go through this. This is important to see the order in which they sit, because it's when they sit that this happens. After Keir Starmer sits down, that Macron grabs him by the arm in it's like a heartfelt gesture, a goodwill gesture. They're looking at the cameras, and this is the moment that everyone is talking about. There are 2 glasses of water, and there are 2 things in here. One that looked like a small bag of baby powder. You never know when you will need some baby powder. Maybe you feel some friction in your underwear, and you put some baby powder in. It's much better. It's a lot of relief, right? It's exactly for the babies. You can use that yourself, or maybe I don't know, for other uses. Or for some reason, a small bag of baby powder was on the table. Oh, that's what we believe that was. And we see that Macron has this crossed arm posture, okay, with one hand covering the other. No big deal in here. And we see Merz that he is like holding the water, just moving this to make some space. And for some reason, we see this, which absolutely, I'm going to tell you, looks like a spoon to me. We're gonna clear the picture in a minute, but we are talking about body language. For some reason, he grabs the thing, Mers, and hides it between his hands, or grabs it between his hands. Why would he push the glass and the folder, but instead of pushing the little stick or whatever it is, just hold it in his hands? Okay, that's one thing. As I'm telling you, when we talk about body language, one single signal is never enough to say, okay, this is something going on in here. But when you have two signals, that's when you begin to say that, okay, something is going on in here. Because after Mers does that, then we see Macron with a bit of an uncomfortable face. He grabs whatever was in there and hides it under the elbow like this, and with a very strange face. Okay, this was suspicious. This was as suspicious as you can imagine. You see that, and you see how he like leans away from the thing that he just grabbed, and it's so suspicious that you can't help but think that they were hiding something. Then why would you act this way if you weren't hiding something from the cameras? And you see that Stormer has his neck, his head and neck are really stiff. You know, when somebody's nervous, somebody is tense, they have that stiffness, a stiffness that I can say that Macron doesn't have and Mers doesn't have. You see that Stormer, it's kind of a stiff, as in, oh my God, they caught us with the baby powder. I don't know how to pronounce that in British, but okay. The take from this angle continues. I'm gonna play it in real time, and what is interesting is that you see that Macron smiles in one direction and then hides the thing that he grabbed from the table on his pocket. I guess that it was on his pocket, or maybe below his arse. I don't know, but he made sure to hide it. Okay, take it away, and then we see right before a face that he can, well, I think that he doesn't have anything in his hand. Makes sense, right? He's leaving that in his pocket, and that's it. And there's another angle. We got two angles to confirm. That is important as well. It will be much more difficult. It will be difficult enough for an AI to generate a scene like this as of now, all right, this date, let alone two angles of the same scene. I don't know, maybe in 6 months that will be possible. That could be a possibility. But right now we know that it's legit because there were more than one angle of this. And the exact same thing happens. He grabs Stormer's hand or forearm, and then Mers moves the glass and the folder, grabs the little. From this angle, it doesn't look like a spoon, by the way, and Macron hides whatever was right beside the glass in a very suspicious, in a very, as in embarrassed way. All right, so be it. I'm just going to go back and confirm from this angle that this looks less and less like a spoon. All right, this really doesn't look like a spoon, right? And this is still has, we still don't have enough resolution to really confirm what's this. But some people were saying, okay, it's just a napkin. It's a napkin and a tiny stick used to stir drinks, and that's it. And I would say, okay, that maybe they have a point. We have to consider every single theory here. Well, let's say it was a napkin and a little stick. Okay, let's say that it was just a crumpled napkin and a stirrer. Why did both men, both Macron and Mers, feel the need to conceal them if they are so unremarkable items? It's just a stirrer and a crumpled napkin. And don't tell me it's because the napkin and the stirrer look bad for the cameras, because that's nonsensical and kind of, well, weird, right? Why care so much about a napkin and a stirrer being visible? And if there was a desk right behind Macron, why didn't he just grab the napkin? If there's a desk, wherever there's a desk, there must be a trash bin. You just grab the napkin and put that in the trash bin. Why keep it in your hand and then put it in your pocket? Why being so dramatic about that? Although if it was baby powder, if this was a bag of baby powder, it would make sense to also grab it and put in the trash bin as well. Just get it out of the way as soon as possible, or I don't know, in an unremarkable way. If either it's a baby powder or a napkin, why take so much care about that? And if it was a napkin and Macron is so mindful of appearances, he would have grabbed it outright, not in a sleight of hand way, save for mirth. But I was asking, by the way, I asked the question. I'm going to expose myself as a total baby powder noob with this question. But is it actually measured or served with tiny long spoons? Because we know that dollar bills, maybe $100 bills, are done for that. And there are other ways. You should have maybe you will have a platter, a metal platter on there to do your thing. And well, Megan Small commented, remember in Scarface, Michelle's character would use a spoon to measure out small bumps to, well, go to town with the stuff. Oh, right. I remember that. Yeah, the tiny spoon. And some people began to mention McDonald's. And yeah, there was the story of McDonald's coffee stirrer as well. McDonald's used small spoon-shaped plastic coffee stirrers in the 1970s, about 5 inches long, designed for mixing sugar or cream into coffee. They were discontinued in the United States by December 1979 because they became popular as baby powder paraphernalia, particularly for measuring and snorting that, earning the nickname Mac Spoon. The stirrer scoop held roughly 100 milligrams, making them very convenient for junkies. And yeah, there's some like Carol K.S. remember that and share a picture with us. And you remember that spoon? But then we had the actual pictures of the thing. And there's a couple of things that we need to say about pictures. You have to be careful about the not only the quality of the pictures, but to make sure that they have not been modified in any way. And in this picture, we can see, all right, it is confirmed that this is not a spoon. This is not a spoon at all. We see that this is one of those, yeah, and actually a stirrer. Yeah, it's like this small stirrer that is a very, very recyclable stick that can be made of wood. It has just a little knot on the tip, and you use the knot to be able to whip your coffee, or if you add the sugar or whatever you used for the coffee. Oh, but there's no coffee on the table. Yeah, but somebody might have just left it there. But what about the bag of what? Okay, now that I think of it, this doesn't look like a bag. This actually looks like a crumpled napkin. Like, if it was a bag, you would see some areas that are white of the baby powder and some areas that are transparent. But all the areas, the complete area of this thing is solid white. And if a small bag of baby powder was full of baby powder, you will not be able to crumple it. It will be like, I'm full of baby powder. I cannot, like, fall myself in this way. It's not possible. So if you ask me, this is a napkin. And now that I made the Alex Jones voice, Alex Jones, I understand the grift, man, but man, he says you can clearly see it's a bag of blow. No, but this picture was digitally enhanced. The contrast was manipulated to make it seem like it had a plastic texture, to the point that both the folder and the glass just are transformed. This is the actual picture. Thank you, share for by Clandestine. That is a doctor photo. He was replying to Alex Jones. That's why I tell you that it's so delicate to make sure to go for the actual pictures. And man, yeah, there's no baby powder at all. There's no baby powder. It's just a crumpled napkin. So yeah, it seems that Macron is actually that delicate with things. Oh, I am embarrassed. I am embarrassed about this. I am embarrassed about this. I'm going to share Milo's thoughts. I think that are quite common sense. Milo, it is not plausible in the least bit to me that leaders of 3 major countries surrounded by dozens of staff each would leave drugs on the table. And I agree. But again, I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? Do you think that there was more to this? There's more footage or nothing? But I think this was essentially a nothing burger. I don't like any of them at all, and I'm pretty sure that if they are aware of my existence, they don't like me. But no, this is not it. We have to uncover things the way they are and focus on the real stuff. And no, this was a nothing burger. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Bottle Language Guy. Much love and bliss.